All right. Welcome to another video this morning again, and we just concluded modeling these windows, right? So we're just going to proceed to modeling the doors now, right? So I wanted to make the windows and doors one video, but that's going to be too long, right? So in this video, we're going to go proceed to modeling the doors, right? And from there, we will now proceed to making the rails. Then we'll deal with the pergola out here. Then we go ahead to make the staircase, right? So we're just going to make those things. Then in the next video would go ahead to, after we're done modeling these elements, then we'll go ahead to dive into rendering, texturing materials proper, right? So I'm just going to dive into that proper, and I'll do my explanation, right? So I'll do my explanations on all those so that we could progress. But I might still model some things, right? But I would want us to mix it. I don't want to do, I don't need to form in your mind that there is a one way to do things, right? But I will show you a pattern. I will show you a system. I'll give you a checklist, right? At the end of the day, I'll give you a checklist how you should do your workflow. All right. So, but the reason I'm flowing how I'm flowing is because it's a training course, and you need to understand some things, and it might require me to go somewhere, right? So, that being said, let us proceed. All right. So in the last video, we did touch windows, and in this video, we'll be dealing with doors, right? So I had to open this picture so that we can look at the doors, right, and see what it looks like. All right. So let's see our doors. Let's see our doors. So we could tell that this door, okay, so we can see the inner door, the door that leads to this room here, and see it's the same white wood transparent door. All right, I don't know why they use the transparent door all through the house. Maybe they intend to put curtains in each room, right? All right, so this is the windows. Oh, okay. All right. So you can tell this is our staircase, and this handrail stuff going on there, from down to up corridor, stuff like that. When we get there, we'll model that. And but for now, let's focus on this. All right. So okay. Veranda, door. All right. So for the sake of privacy, I'm just gonna assume that the doors that lead up to the rooms are transparent. Okay, but before I assume, let's look at the plan. Wow, they're all transparent doors, right? So they're all transparent. They're all transparent doors, right? So that's interesting. So what I would mean is they'll probably utilize maybe not necessarily transparent doors, just glass panel doors. So maybe they use privacy panels for the room doors, all right? So maybe we will do that in our, maybe not maybe we'll do that in our rendering if we'll capture any of those. So I might proceed to using the interior shot of this. I might proceed to using this building plan for interior rendering. I might, all right? So, but I do have intentions of producing rendering, interior rendering videos, right? So, but for now, we're just going through to understanding visualization in general, right? So, without much talk, let's progress. So, we have door, and this door is actually interesting, right? So we have the outline for the door, and we have everything we need for the door. It says from here to here is 800, right? 800 for this door, and the height of the door is 301, right? And it seems that will be the design of the door for both the ground floor and the second floor, right? So let's proceed to our model file. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and select all these and group them. I make that a group, and I call this windows, right? And I'll just, I'll select this, I'll copy that, then I'll hide this, right? Then I'll do paste in place, right? Then I would apply my dimensions, right? So the first thing I want to do is I might just get rid of this, right? Then I would locate the middle again, measure from down to 2,400. Remember that's height. Then it says 800, so 400 this side and 400 the other way. That should give me 800. This door is freaking small. Jesus. It looks like someone will squeeze themselves to pass through it, but that's what they say the door size is, and who am I to say it's not? I mean, why? I'm not an architect. A builder. All right, so we have doors that are 750 millimeters thick. That's usually toilet size doors, right? So 800 millimeters, it's not bad. All right, so I'm just gonna cut that hole open. All right, so that's that for our frame. The next thing I want to do is get the general outlay door frame. All right, so for the door frame, I'm just going to go ahead and look at the pictures again. Let me check something. I want to look through to see the section, right? Let me see the section, what the section looks like. All right. Remember when I started modeling with the chair, I said you have to analyze your model, right? So that's what I'm doing. I just want to make sure I understand what the door looks like properly before I begin the model, so that I can take everything into account. So I could tell, first of all, this is a door that is inside. The door frame, the handle is around here, not really in the, it's just somewhere low. All right. Then I think it's going to be waist level. Door handles are usually waist level, right? That's not in the middle of the door. That's somewhere below the middle line, all right? It's almost about a meter above the ground, all right? So, all right. So taking note of those. Right, right. So this is going to be a speed model, I guess, because the door isn't really complex, right? So let's go. So I drew my rectangle, and first thing I want to do is to make it 50 millimeters. All right, so 50 might be too thick this time around, so I'm just going to do 25. I'll do 25 because when I take out 25 from here and I take out 25 from here, that'll be 50. And if I remove 50 from 800, that'll be 750, all right? And the standard door width I know with from my building experience is 750, right? So let's say that takes up that, and then I'm just going ahead and all right. So if I delete that, mm, I will do this. I will push this down by, all right. So that's 300, right? But instead of 300, I will do, let's say, let me measure 300 down from so. All right, so that's 300 down from so, and I measure up to 50, right? So that means this should be 250, right? 25 not 250 for that measurement I did. All right, so I will get rid of this as well. That'd be difficult to measure, so I'll just put a guideline there, and so I've got the frame, and I'm just gonna go ahead and push pull that. So I just want a frame to cover all through, right? Let it cover all through. All right, cover all through. All right, so I would be looking at this time to time to really understand what's going on. All right, so you can see the frame here. It goes from that point into the house, and yeah, I just want a frame to cover all through. And if I'm looking at the building the plan, right, so that's a very clean glass. So this side is clean as well. So for this is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's 4. So I'm just gonna assume this is 300 going up, right? So I'm gonna group this, make group, and then I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out like so. Right, just going to throw that out like so. Then let me look at this. I would let's see, I'll measure 300 up, and then I would put a line here so that that would serve as the distance from down to the stop part. Then that looks like 100, so I'll do 100. Right, so I think that's so much. So I would put this part and bring this side down. All right, so you can see I have that shape going on there. All right, so what I could do now is I'll just do these lines. I'll do it span wise like this, and then I think what I'll do now is I will make this, let me make this into a door thickness, and I think my thickness I usually use for doors is 50. All right, so if I were to hide this, that's 50. All right, so that's what I usually use. So for this guy, I'm just going to delete this and group that, make that a group. I'll say this is going to be door shell. I'll call that door shell, and then I'll call this door frame. Door frame. All right, don't forget the nomenclature is up to you. All right, so I'll just do this all the way down, and I would go back to the, instead of looking at the section, because the section and this are practically the same. So I'll divide this 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so I'll divide that by 4. So whatever this distance is, I will do 17 divided by 4, and then I get that right there. So with that, I would just I'll just replicate that. 17 divided, oh no, 17 divided by 4, and then I'll do that again. 17 divided by 4. All right, so that's that. Then divided by 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so I'll do this distance 550. So 550 divided by 3, and then 550 divided by 3 again. 550 divided by 3. All right, so I have that going on there. I can now come ahead and do 10. Doesn't look bad. All right, it doesn't look so bad. All right, so but I will go with 25. So 10, 15, so that'll be 30. All right, so I'll do 15. No, 1, 5. I'll do 15, and then I'll do 15. Right, I'll cut that all through. Then I just do move, copy, drop that right there. I think 15 is too thick, right? Actually, that's too thick, so 10 is all right. So let me delete that. I'll do 10, and then I'll do 10. So I'll cut that right through. Then I'll take that from that point, put that right there. All right. So I'll go ahead and select this. Okay, so I'll just delete this, right? Then I will I will now pull this. I'll push it to the thickness of 50, 50, 50, 50. So I need 50. Okay, yeah, so the 50 is all right. Let it be as thick as the door. Being as thick as the door is not bad. All right. So that will make it good from both sides, right? So I'll make sure oh wow, I didn't delete that properly. You can still see the edges, right? No issue. I'll just group that. Go into the group and ensure I select all that, extract piece of geometry and delete them, right? So from here, I could just measure 10 upwards and 10 down. Then I would draw that to this other side. All right, is that a misbehavior or something? All right, so I want to span it. By that I mean I want it to run from here to here and not all through. So I'm just going to clean that up. Right, so it goes from this point there, so it's more realistic in nature, right? That's 50, 50, 50, right? So group, right? So I'll call this horizontal span. I just say horizontal span, H span, and this will be V span, V span. All right, so then I could go ahead and copy this from the middle. I'll copy that from the middle, right? I'll take that from the middle down. I just do times 3, right? All right. Wow. Okay, that was weird. So, all right. So, sorry about that. I had some power issue. All right. So back to what I was doing, right? So you can see how we already fleshed out the door really quickly. All right. So modeling gets really easy, as you go. So it's not so difficult, right? So what's left now is the glass panels in between. So I'll just go ahead and make the first one. Remember, push pull 5 tick, and I'll group that. I'll call that glass, right? Then I'll just move, well, press my M while I was still there. So I'll move this in like 10. That's usually the distance I move my glass. And I just replicate that all through, right? So then I just move that from that point and I do bring it down. So here's the times 3, right? So I can tell that it didn't move well. So I just, adjust it, move it well. I hope this is well placed. Seems this isn't well placed. Alright, seems this is alright. So sometimes this dimensions doesn't really, dimension well. Right, so you might want to pay attention to your dimensions. So it would seem that the division spaces I usually do is not the same for the top and the bottom, but the internal spacings are usually okay. All right, so that's for the glass, right? It's a lot of objects, but it's more realistic that way. It's not too memory intensive, right? The glass. And then for here, this would be a glass. So I'll do this 5 as well. And I'll make group. But frame glass. Alright, then I'll move this one by a good distance. I'll move it by 50. Right. So still using the same as the window, but no, I won't use the same glass as the window because the window, this is more transparent than the window. Right. So not like I'm going to choose a more transparent glass here, but I will be using different glass so that when I take it into my rendering software, yeah, I can separate the color. All right, I can separate the glass from the other one, right? So I could choose this door now, and all right. So what I want to do now is, let me get this straight. I want to put my handle, right? I want to put the door handle, and I think that should be that. So let me group this. Let me get this and put that into a group, right? I'll call this a door. Door. All right. So if I really do look at this, uh, there isn't so much of a difference, right? It's just the same door, just different scale. So you see, like when I'm done with this, I could just, scale, 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 right? So then this is the main frame, right? So door glass, door show. All right. So that. So I'm just gonna give this a wood color, right? I'm just gonna give it a wood color because looks weird, right? So I'll just use a synthetic surface. I use this one or this one. Okay, no, that's not the one. I use a white one, or better yet, I could just use um colors instead. In this, no color is better. Put that there so it doesn't have a default material. All right. So continuing to the door handle, right? So for the door handle, we could do anything we want there, anything we want. So, but what I would do is, all right, I'm just gonna look at this shape and generally replicate what is there generally. All right, it doesn't have to be so fancy, just something okay. All right, so if I'm looking at this, I can tell that it's almost half the shape of this, half the height of that. So I could use that as 1, 2. All right, so that's means the frame is going to be somewhere around here. All right, so if I move that down by defined height by 50, and then I move that just a little bit down, like 200. All right, so that's just perfect for the handle. All right, so I think this left or right doesn't really matter for now. When I start placing the doors, then I would do some adjusting, right? So it needs to be in the very middle of this. So that's 100, right? So if I'm doing a move at 50, then let's do some thickness of 25 and 25. So this would be my door handle, right? So I could go ahead to make fancy stuffs here, but I would not. I'll just do something really simple, right? So 25 thick. Hmm. That's too thick. 25 is much. I think this is cool. All right, so I think I'll use the follow me tool here. So I'll make a group, but what I want to do, why I want to use the follow me tool is this. I just wanted to have some nice shape, right? It's a nice curved looking shape going on. I'm just gonna do this. If this shape curves round, it's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be looking good. Looking good. So for the thickness of this, the thickness of this is it's not so much. This thickness is, let me make it 5. All right, so I'll make this thickness to be let's see, 4. So I'll scale that touch right there. Then I will push this in by 4, right? Push this in by 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. Then I'll select this face. Okay, I'll double click to select the face and the edge, and then I'll select the edge. I'll copy that, then I'll come out here, and then I would paste in place, keep the edge outside. Then I would, having the edge still selected, I'll click on the follow me tool and click on this shape. All right, so it did the follow me and it left the shape where it was. Okay, so that's not what I wanted, so I'm just going to move this to this point, and then I'm going to select that all, right? And then okay, so I'm just going to click that, then I'll deselect, oops, minus instead. Now it will follow me, right? So you see how that gives a good panel look, right? See how it smoothens the edge. Then I can still edit this guy, right? So bring that down. So I'll say around here, come down 35 is not bad to come down, but let me come down a little bit more by 15. So that's there. Then let me make a very rectangle handle, right? So let's not be creative, too creative, all right? Let's just make something simple, right? 15. So 15, not really, that's too much. Let's do 12.5. No, let's do 5. No, 7.5, right? That's what I want to do. 7.5. 7.5. So I'm just doing this stuff from my head right now, right? So I'm trying to make the handle, right? So I think I want to move it down a little bit more. That's 35. That's 35. So I want to move it down a little bit more. If I move that by 4, that's 39. Plus 1 more. That means the total distance from here to here should be 44. All right. So I want it to be total of 50. Right, so let me move by 11. That should be 50. All right. So if I move that, oh, that's 55 now. Anyways, I think that's good enough. So what I would do is to push this out by 50. Then I will just come here and measure the thickness of this handle towards this direction. 15. Right. I'll just measure 15 right there. And I push this out as well by say 100. Right. So that's not bad. Not really bad. Not based on actual measurements. Well, let me just move that in by 20. Right. So it looks a little bit more real. Right. So that's not so bad. Right. Just that no handle is going to be this rectangle. Too it's too rectangular, right? So what I'll just do is so what we could do is we could use follow me to create the handle if we wanted it to be uh Okay, let's do this. So I'll make something interesting here. So this will be, push this in by 5. I push this in from this side by 5 again. Okay, I think that 5 is too much. Let me do 2.5. So I'll do 2, 2, 2, 3. One, two, sounds good. Okay. Or still I could do this. Now, let me just, you see, I'm just freestyling right here, right? So you can go ahead and look up something and replicate, right? So but I'm just freestyling. So I could do that like so, but I want to make this circle, right? So I'll push that out to hit that wall right there, and I'll get rid of that. Right. Mm, okay. All right. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit flatter. Mm. All right. So I'm just trying to, you know, polish it a little bit. Like nothing really in my mind. Just going, just going, just going. Let me undo that. I do this instead. What will be the outcome? Mm. Mm. All right, so that's not bad. Like it's not bad at all. I think this is okay for a handle, right? Just a little bit stylish and not so boring. All right, so I'll call them a handle. All right, then for the keyhole, all right, there's so much guides. Let me delete all my guides. For the keyhole, I'm just gonna move this up by 50 and move this up by 30, right? Then I'll look for my center and then I'll just do an out, then out, and I'll draw that rectangle like so. Okay. All right, so we have our door handle. I just don't want to get so I don't want to get so detailed with putting so much stuff in there. All right, so let me remove that color and remove that from there. So I think I also added the color there. I will remove that. So it's the general handle that has the color. All right, so let me not go overboard and spend so much time and keep you here in this video. All right, so you could find something online and really put in your time to model stuff, right? It's all left for you. It's all left for you, right? So I don't want to keep you here. It's all left for you. So that being said, I think we are majorly done with the components, the parts of this door. Yeah, we are done majorly with the parts of the door. So that's one door done. Now, okay, so let's group the door. Let's call this handle, and so that should go into the door. All right, so and the whole door. So in case I want to rotate that, I could just do that to open and close it. All right, so this entity, I will call this, I'll make this a component, right? Door. I just call it door. And I'll go inside and I'll change its point of origin to be that point. So I use this point of origin 2. I think that might be the first time I'm using that. And I'm just going to put it that point and click like 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Right? Yeah, thank you. So what it does is just make that my point of origin for that component, right? And the reason for that is if I wanted to rotate this in a certain way, maybe I want to make it an interactable object, to rotate a point along that line so that I don't have to, do so much. All right, so that being said, the door is being implemented. I think that's all for this door, right? All right, so we need to put the handle at the other side of the door as well. So I don't know if I installed Miro, but I'll just use the flip tool and flip that along this plane. And then I'll just move that to the door, right? So now I get to pick up all these components and call this the one. So I'll just go down to the plan and call that the one, right? The one. Toilet door. Toilet and room door. Toilet door. That should be the toilet door. The one should be the toilet door, right? Or toilet door, stroke room door. Yeah, that's usually the toilet door. Yep. It's just a toilet that has that door, right? 800 or so that's toilet door, right? So then, of course, I don't have to name it like that way, but I just named it that way because that's usual how it is. All right, so I'll make unique, right? And I'll call this door 2. I just leave it as door, right? Just leave it as door. Then for this, I'll need to modify because the width of this is 900. Everything remains the same. It's just 900, so it's 100 millimeters wider, right? So what I'll do now is I'll put my center point. I'll measure up 450 to the right, 450 to the left, and cut my hole to the door, cut my hole to the wall, adjust. All right. So I go into the component and I wouldn't just scale things, right? I'll go ahead and pick things and move them to maintain my dimensions, right? That's one thing I am conscious of in this model. I don't want my dimensions to get messed up. So I'm just gonna move this to the wall, ensure that I move all the components and makes that face. Select that face, this face, and that face right there. And I move this to the wall, right? So that I maintain my dimension and pick this. All right, so this guy, I don't need to move him that way. This glass, I could just scale, right? Scale it to touches. And then I do the same here. Scale it till it touches. All right. Then I just have to adjust this door. Now for this door, I could scale him, right? I could scale, but let me make unique. I don't want to scale this time around. I just call it, I leave it as door 1. Then I'll come in and let's move the door properly. All right, let's scale these guys. I think we can scale these guys. We can scale these guys actually. So let's scale these guys. Not bad to scale them, but let's move the handle instead. I think the handle deserves to be moved and to be scaled, right? So that's 50 to the middle. Okay, that's not 50 any longer because I scaled that. So see, it's no longer. So I'll just use a line to do that right there. And then look at the midpoint of that line. So I can just move the handle, right? So I'll move the handle from its midpoint. Move the handle from its midpoint there. And like that, I'm done with this one. I'm actually done with this one. All right, so but quickly you notice that there is something I need to make correction for. All right, let me come out. So if I come in here, you see this is the point of origin for this door, and I need to adjust that to be in a corner. So I just take that and triple click, and if I come back in, it's adjusted that. This one is in that side. So the same thing for this guy. I need to put that in the corner. All right, then coming is down there. Then for the doors, right there. All right, so we've done the 2 doors and one more door to go. All right, so if I duplicate this I'll just go ahead and get rid of these guys. I will make this unique as well. So I'll make unique. I make unique, right? So I make that unique so that I could. Well, if you look at this, you could tell that it's the same size of door, right? It's almost the same size of door with an added panel. So what I'm just gonna do, right, is I'm gonna make door 1 meter, then I'll make this I'll make this 470, right? So I'll allocate 1 meter to the width here, or yeah, allocate 1 meter to this, and I'll leave the rest to be that panel, right? So that's 470. So I've made that unique. So I'll call this door 3 wider door. All right. So I'm just gonna go in here and adjust these guides. So 470 divided by 2, right? I don't have the leisure to start calculating 470 divided by 2. All right, that way I could just easily get, or I just pull this wall instead, right? So I will just move this whole door first. I just move the whole thing because the point of origin is here inside, so I don't have to resize that point of origin. Then what I would do is I'll measure out from this point 1 meter, like I said I would do. Then I will move this frame the way I moved it to meet up with that. All right. Then I would now make some extra addition to the frame. Okay, so I would actually have to move the frame all the way through, right? Then I create another frame over there. So what I would do is I would take this, I'll just create a line right here, and take this face and move that to this point. All right. Then I would, let me measure this and see what's going on here. All right, so I think that's fine. That's all right. I'll just push that through. All right. Then I come to this guy and I would scale. This is scale, since it's not affecting the dimensions. Then I would create another guy here, just another frame glass, since it's just pure glass going on right there. All right, let me look at that. Okay, so there's a frame thickness right there. So before I do this, I would check what's this. All right, so I'll just line this, right? Pick that up there, move, duplicate that down, push pull to create that frame. All right. So don't let my techniques confuse you, right? You could just do whatever you understand should be done there. All right. So, okay. So I would come out and do this. I push this to be 5. Then I triple click and group that. I call that frame glass. Frame glass again. All right. Seems like the last frame glass was not fully spelled. Not like they're gonna kill me for good spelling. All right. Okay. So I put that there, and I'm gonna push it in by the distance I did push this other guy. So I'll just log that to the red the green axis and hit that die, so they are the same level. Right, so now I just have to adjust this door and I'll make it unique again, maybe that door 2. Then I'll come inside and really there's no harm in adjusting or scaling this, right? So I'll scale this one, right? Then I will move the handle. Right, let me just move my eyes. I think this is okay. All right, so for the whole door, starts its point of origin from there, and then I come to this one, its point of origin starts from here, and that's not where it should start. It should start from here, so I take that and put here. We'll click, then I come out, ask me, and I commit. I come in, that's my new point of origin. All right, so 50 minutes, sorry about that. We're done with the modeling of the doors. All right, so that's all the door. It's all the doors. So in the next video, we're just going to go ahead and model the rail. We'll model the rail. Then we'll model the pergola in another video. All right, so I'm just going to section it like that so you can, get what you need. All right, sorry about my voice. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If you I want to use the word blessed, but anyways, if you got some value, please hit the like button and subscribe and share. Make comments where you have questions. Just like I've been saying, there's no one way of modeling, right? No one way of modeling. So you notice I didn't even check this after the whole thing, right? So you can see this is thick from here to there, about, and then all right, seems like the door went in a bit, so you could make that adjustment in yours. But I think why it went in like so is because it's being viewed from this angle, right? All right, so it seems the flip of this door should be towards this side, right? So I'll just go ahead and flip that. All right, so makes better sense now. So it's like looking at this from that angle. So I could open this. It seems that would be opening inward. All right, let me see the plan. Yeah, it opens inward. That's why it's that way. So from outside, you just no, no, no. Internal door that flips open. All right, so that being said, that's all. See you in the next video, and yeah, bye.